Hey everyone, welcome to Quarter Mile Farm. It is not too long before our first frost hits, probably in about 3 weeks or so. And my corn is done, which is a good thing because I told my church that I would provide some corn stalks for our harvest party that's coming up this next weekend. So I need to get this chopped down and bundled up and ready to go to them. I'm also gonna take over some pumpkins to use as well. So I'm gonna get this done, and then there's other things we gotta get done too, like getting garlic in the ground. So Brent is actually over working in the patch where next to the cucumbers and the strawberries, and we're going to clear that out and put in some garlic there. So we gotta work on that today too. So lots to do. Let's just get to it. Of these where we didn't get the corn from them, so I'm just gonna toss them over to the chickens. I've gotten a good amount of corn. I've harvested almost all of it from this section. There is some of it right behind you here. Right here. That I'm going to leave because right now they're kind of a support system for these tomato plants that are growing here. For those of you that watched me plant these tomato plants, they have taken over the world. So let me show you how huge these tomato plants are. And these are a Sweet 100 cherry tomato plant. So right here you can maybe see the metal cage. So this is where it's planted, right here, and then the second one is right over there. And this used to be the pathway. And it has completely overgrown. I have to walk over here where I planted the beans in order to get through. It's crazy huge. Just, yeah, they've taken over the world. But that's a good thing in my opinion, because these are so good. And they are plentiful. Yep, oops, I dropped one. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I am not done with the corn though. You can see I have that other patch over there that I haven't touched yet. Some of that is actually still growing corn that we can eat. At least I think, unless we're too late on that. We were late on a lot of the corn, so we didn't get a whole bunch of it to eat, even fresh, because I don't know, we just got so busy that even just to get out here and pick the corn seemed like too much of a chore. So It's not wasted though, because it's just gonna go feed the chickens. So not a big deal. Next year I'll have to do better at getting out here to get it so that we can actually get some in the freezer. But this is the chicken run garden where I am, and I'll just spin you around real quick, maybe not real quick, don't want you getting dizzy, and just show you the growth in the garden and how things are going in here. So of course the corn that I just took down was the second corn patch that I did. That was the first one over there. So this was the second corn patch that I put in. Right here I have dill, and you can see it's still going bonkers here. I've been selling it. I have more out there in my other cucumber area, but I've been selling the dill, I've been using it, and I still have tons left. And whatever's left from the season, I'm going to be dehydrating the petals here, or not the petals, but the leaves, to make dried dillweed, and then I'll let these flowers go to seed so I can have the dill seed as well. So that's taken over this area here. This is where the cucumbers are planted. It's still producing some cucumbers for me. The cucumbers in here aren't producing as much as they did at the beginning. You can tell they're in the final season of life of production. But there's my other cucumber. It's still producing some, and I have a good amount of my year's pickles that I've wanted. Plus I have sold, probably a couple 100 pounds of cucumbers, if not more. I've had quite a few people looking for cucumbers. Along over here are those beans. If you watched me when I was working in this area, I found beans as I was working it up for doing cucumbers, and they're the pinquito beans that I planted last year, and there were just beans that had fallen off at the end of fall last year, and so I found them and I plugged them in the ground, and I'm getting a whole bunch more pinquito beans that I didn't buy, and I only planted by pushing the seed down in the ground. The seeds were already here, of course. So we're gonna get a bunch more of these. Now these I don't harvest until after frost, when they've turned brown. Well, at least when they've turned brown. It doesn't have to have frosted, but I wait until the pods are dry before I harvest them, because I use these as a dry bean. So anyway, this whole wall here is the pinquito beans. Hello Inky, did you come to say hi? Inky and Juno, hello. Oh, here's a cucumber I've missed for a while. It's getting on the verge, but even pickles, or even cucumbers this size, I still use in pickling. I make spears out of them. I chop it up in this size. I would chop up into about 8 slices and just make pickle spears out of them. So I'm still going to keep this, otherwise I might give it to the chickens, but I can actually still use this one. Put it over here with the others. There we go. These are the green beans I planted, and I have gotten a lot of green beans from them, and I see I need to pick them again today. It's been a couple days since I picked them, so some of them are getting pretty big here. So definitely need to come out and pick those. Of course there's the corn, and then this is the darling pumpkin that I planted. And I've actually gotten another, I showed you some of the plants were actually, zucchini plants. And I had gotten at least one more zucchini from here, but it looks like the zucchini plant is dead. But you can see I've gotten several darling little pumpkins. There and there, a couple right here, and then there's one growing on the outside of the fence too. Oh, there's another one that's still turning orange. There's another one. Quite a few pumpkins. Very pleased with this pumpkin vine that I got. All right, so that's the corn stalks being harvested. I'm still gonna come do some of these in a little bit. I need to go get a basket so that I can put all these pickings from. I need to remember to always come to the garden with a basket. I don't know how it is I leave the house without one, but I do, and I just shouldn't. And plus we'll go take a look. Brent has now got the rototiller out, so we'll go take a look at how that's coming, and then we'll see if there's any more things to pick today. I know there's the green beans, but we'll see if there's some other things as well. And you can see here I have by our door, I picked these a while ago, I need to take care of them, but these are the spaghetti squash, and from that one volunteer plant that I had come up randomly in my strawberry patch, and it's filled one of those apple boxes. This is the second picking I did of it. The rest of them I have out in the garage, but it produced a lot. And there's a lot of like small ones, I call them single size servings, even smaller here. But a lot of them were this size right here. About 1 to 2 pounds for the most of them. I'm so sad. I've been waiting and waiting to pick this pear, and then I forgot about it. I was wanting to do a video because it was my one and only pear, and now it has fallen off onto the ground. I wonder if it'd still be all right. Typically you pick them when they're still a little green, and this isn't even soft up here yet, only barely. I wonder if that's still gonna be good. Probably have a bruise spot from falling on the ground, but oh my goodness, this might still be okay. Yay! We'll take it inside and see. This one was, it doesn't say. Where's my tag? It came off. Oh well. Well, out here at the garlic area now where Brent has been working, and he got the tiller out. He's got this nicely dug up, but he's stopped for now because our neighbor of ours has a new, what does he have, hun? Huh? What does he have?
He's got a new tiller for his John Deere tractor, and he wants to test it out.
Oh.
So he had to replace the windshield on the cab because it busted, and so he's doing that now. But in a few minutes, hopefully, we'll be able to bring it into here. And it's just a small tractor, but it's probably going to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and this all
I know.
Be done.
Versus several passes with our little tiller, which we've been pretty happy with the tiller, right, Han?
It's really good. I got it, whatever you want to call it, just got it in the groove, working out really well. And so after clearing out the major grasses and big things that I knew would clog it up, did it at this first depth level to do one pass, and then I was going to do another pass going crossways to get it a little deeper.
Yeah.
And that's just before I started that, that's when he contacted me, and
nice.
he just came to the fence and was like, hey.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man,
that's cool.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually put this away now.
Yeah.
And just wait for him.
So we have a video of us assembling this, or Brent assembling this. This is a Champion 19-inch rear tine tiller, and you can go watch him assemble that.
And some of our first uses on it, I think, is on that same video.
Yeah, a little bit, or on another video anyway. I don't think it was on that first one.
It works real good, and the only thing that I think I might do for next season is buy some weights and mount it on the front here. It'll really help these wheels dig in and help kind of sort of balance it as far as digging in these wheels, because the one thing that can happen when you go deeper on the depths, it can really get bogged down, and then this just doesn't go anywhere. You gotta really push it. That's why I installed this fancy dancy crossbar. And if I were to put some weights here, it'll just put more weight on the wheels, and I'm thinking 50 pounds would probably do it. And I just want to see how that works. Yeah. But we've got that bar there, be really good. The other option is to hook the mower up to this and have one of the boys on the mower, and then we just cut through. Yeah. But you can see there the black plastic, it was covering this area. Brent just folded it over to start working on a new area. And over here, well, let me show you. I don't want to walk through the dirt.
with my sandals on. My feet will get really dirty. But here, these strawberries I planted this spring that I got from my mom and stepdad, they are still producing. They took a break there for a little while. In fact, they didn't really produce this spring much. Then they took a little break, but they have been sending out runners like crazy, so it's really filled up the beds. I have three beds of them. These are kind of buried in weeds right now, but yeah, still producing. Boy, that's a loose one that's not ripe. Just producing a lot of berries, producing a lot of runners. So we're gonna have, we should have a really, really nice crop next year. So I'm excited about that. Over here are the cucumbers. I've gotten a lot of cucumbers out of these. And I wasn't sure about the varieties that I'd used. It was a Chicago pickling versus the Boston pickling, which many people are used to. That's the Chicago. I would say performance-wise it's similar to Chicago, but the mini munchers that I got, which was dual purpose, they are very prolific, like super prolific. I have gotten so many of these cucumbers. And then over here, I have so many lemon cucumbers, I'm not sure what to do with them. All of that is just a sea of lemon cucumber plants, and I've hardly harvested them. I have done some, but I have so many more to harvest, and I don't know what to do with them all. But you can see here, we have some dill in here as well. The cucumbers have kind of overrun them. So I have pickled some of the lemon cucumbers. I just, it's so much more to do, but gonna meet our pickling goals for this year, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna probably try picking some cucumbers before lunch here, and I wanted to show you the cucamelons, also known as mouse melons or Mexican sour gherkins. They have completely covered the fence here, and they're starting to climb up. Climb up to the roof there. For a long time, it just didn't seem to, it took them a while to mature, it seemed, or, get to a size that I think is proper for picking. And just all of a sudden now the weather's gotten a little cooler, and maybe that had something to do with it. But they have just been producing like crazy. And I have enough in my fridge to probably make a quart. I'll probably do some pints though. Some pint jars of pickled cucamelon. So I think those will be really fun to try. I've been selling some of these to the community at farmers markets and other things here on our property too, at our farm stand. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a bunch of these now too, and then get to pickling them. So I'm out here at our pumpkin patch now to get some pumpkins harvested. Like I said, I'm taking some to our church for our social event this weekend of the Harvest Fall Party. So you can see my sea of pumpkins here has been dying off. So part of that is due to it's fall, colder weather's here, no frost yet, but part of it is also due to the squash bugs. They got to some of the plants. They didn't get to all of them, but they're there, and there's a lot of them, and they're just spreading more and more. So it is just time to pick most of the pumpkins anyway. There's still some squash that aren't ready. Like I have some butternut squash over here. I'll take you over there and show you real quick. They're not quite ready to pick yet. And they're still, the vines are still growing. They're still producing more squash. So we'll just let them keep going, but some of the plants in here I know are just done and they're ready to be harvested. So we're gonna work on that and then be done for the day, but I will show you over in the garlic field where we're gonna be planting the garlic. Brent mentioned our neighbors were gonna come over with their new tractor to try tilling it up, and I'll just show you how that turned out. Over here we have the butternut squash, and look at these. They're just huge. I guess I've seen butternut squash that size before, but I'm used to seeing them a little smaller, I guess. Look how big that one is. And then there's these three here, and then there's one there, another one down there. There's a couple of them over there. It's hard to see from here maybe. But anyway, here's a little higher up view. You can see the marigolds in there. They really didn't do their job of keeping the squash bugs away, but they sure are pretty. And they've brought in pollinators and maybe helped keep away some other pests that I'm not aware of. They just didn't help with the squash bugs. I don't think that's gonna work. I have my little Fiskars knife here, but I think having some pruners will help quicker. There we go. Cute little sugar pie pumpkins. This whole plant here was sugar pie. So this one, the stem came off. It's still in good condition. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and process one and puree it for the freezer until I can use it. only just begun to harvest this stuff. Oh my goodness. So I have this huge pile down here. These are some of the ones, these larger ones were actually a jack-o'-lantern type. I forget what type exactly. I have all the names inside, so I'll try to get them on the screen. But there's a pie pumpkin, which is this kind, and then that was a jack-o'-lantern type of pumpkin. And then, of course, the white squash here. That's mostly what's in this pile. And then, of course, that first pile that I have over here, I ended up adding some more to it along with a couple butternut. I think I'm going to leave the butternut, the rest of the butternut a little bit longer because I think it can use more time to ripen. I don't know if you can see there's a little bit of a green stripe here. I think that's just not quite ripe yet. So I'm going to leave the rest to ripen up a little bit more. But these are mostly a pie pumpkin and then the white pumpkins. I'm not sure of the name of those. Again, I'll post it on screen. Then over here, I haven't even begun to scratch the surface. But again, more pumpkin pie pumpkins, and then the white pumpkins, and then these, I really need to look up the name of these. I'm not sure, but I love the shape of them. Look at that. That one doesn't have the little bulge sticking out so much, but like these here, it's got that, and you can see the squash bugs there. You can see it's got this little bulge sticking out, so that's pretty cool. Again, not sure on the name of these. I'll have to look it up. But, you know, I haven't touched that area there. I haven't touched that area there. I've kind of picked that area, but there's probably still more to pick in there. Same with the area I'm in now. And then again, over here with this pile, I've only picked just kind of this area that you can see on screen, and we have all of that area out there. So we have a lot of pumpkins, a lot of squash. Well, my battery died on the camera, so no more filming was done that day. That was a few days ago, I think Monday. It's now Thursday, and I actually have to take the pumpkins and the corn stalks to the church today. So I already have the pumpkins packed in the car, and I filled our little utility wagon with one of the piles that I picked the other day. I still have like 2.5 more piles. They should probably fill that wagon once again. And there's still lots more pumpkins to pick. And this next week I really need to work on getting them picked, because in a week and a half is when our fall festival is, where we're going to be having all kinds of people here. And I gotta have things ready for that. So gotta get these pumpkins picked. Anyway, that's all for the pumpkins and the corn stalks this week, and we will see you next time. Bye. Okay, I'm off to the church. Got the corn stalks in here and the pumpkins, and I just wanted to record this because there's more insects in this van than I've ever driven with before. So if I don't make it to the church, you know it's because I was overwhelmed by like spiders and squash bugs. So hoping we make it here.